Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the finale of season 1 of Dumb Ideas.
Now, I'm sad that this season is over, but I'm excited for a break.
I'm excited for a break. You don't get a break. You have to keep doing the social media stuff.
Yeah, but less often.
Nope, you already don't do it. So,
Yeah. Today is the last episode of season 1, but we are going to have a season 2.
nah,
No,
we're not actually.
Yes, we are.
This is the last time you'll ever see this sign. We're gonna break it down, and
No.
you'll basically never see us again, except for our social media.
If we did that, I would stop the social media every single day. Anyway, season 2. I'm not going to tell you when that's airing because you'll just have to follow us on Instagram, I guess,
Yeah,
to find out.
we might not even tell them. We might just start, and then you'll be like, whoa.
No, I'll tell them.
Oh. Well, for this last episode, we are going to be talking about something I'm very, very passionate about because it's something I created and we've talked about a couple times on here. It is, we're going to be talking about my musical I wrote, 17, the musical.
The best musical, in my opinion.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But before we get into that, our dumb ideas.
Oh, no.
So, my dumb idea. Okay, so I realized I actually don't like that I started it with my dumb idea because then it sets up my story weird and then I can't do it right. So anyway, the other day I was having a sleepover and I was gathering a bunch of blankets to lay out on the floor for us to sleep on. And so I was getting every blanket in my house. And I was throwing them over the balcony. And I also was holding my iPad so we could watch something on it. And then I threw my iPad over the balcony as well. And then I was like, but it landed on all the blankets, so it's fine. But
wow.
Yeah.
Let me think, because I didn't.
Come on, it's the last one. Maybe just say something you did a long time ago that's the dumbest thing you've ever done for the finale, you know?
I can't even think of that. I think the hardest part is just thinking of the week even.
Yeah.
What even happened in the week.
Another dumb thing I did was triple book myself. I have 3 things going on this weekend all at the same time. Because I always say yes to things before checking my calendar. Because I'm free. I'm not doing anything.
You do that quite often.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to be the sacrifice because we both know it's going to be fine in the end.
Shoot. What end?
Death? I don't know. After the triple book is over.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been a couple times where she's texted me and be like, so I said yes to this, so we can't do this anymore. And I'm like,
I feel bad every time, just so you know.
Wow.
Also, it's never I'm never oh, it's okay, I'll just cancel an errand. I'm always what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Every time. I would rather just okay, that'd be an intro to one of those movies where they figure out a way to be in 2 places at once. And then I freaking ruin the world because there's 7 million of me. Yeah.
That would be terrifying. Anyways.
No, because it's the last episode, you just choose a really dumb thing. Not the dumbest thing, just a really dumb thing you've done in the past. Just a fun little story.
I can't even think of that though. When I'm trying to think of something, I'm not gonna think of it.
Yeah, I feel that so hard.
I'm trying to change my dog's name to Cleopatra currently.
I don't think that's dumb. That's just silly.
Her real name is Luna, but she gives off Cleopatra energy. So I'm like trying to change her name.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the only one who's saying it so far, but is it dumb that I finished 2 shows in the same day?
I mean, I really wouldn't say that's dumb. But it's just something you did. Like, it's just something you did. It's a little silly. I mean, it's a bit of a waste of time, and you don't really get to appreciate the art of the show.
Then let's dissect the word dumb.
Okay.
What is dumb
Dumb,
and what isn't?
I guess if you... Something that you know better, and immediately after you did it, you knew that, like, why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that could be dumb.
Yeah.
It's just not, like, really dumb. It's just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So sure, that works.
Yeah. The other day I finished like 2 shows same day.
What shows?
Euphoria and this new show on Netflix called, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like the Dick and Morty.
I haven't seen that, like, scrolling, but I haven't really scrolled on Netflix for a while because I've just been rewatching the same shows. And I actually haven't been watching anything on Netflix recently.
Yeah.
I've been using every other streaming platform.
But ever since then, I've been like in that stage of what do I watch?
Oh, yeah, that's horrible.
Because I kind of want to watch like all the Pixar movies because I've been wanting to do that. But then I started and then I like didn't want to.
Well, let's watch the Star
it.
Wars movies.
Yeah, we could. But we wouldn't be watching them together.
We could.
Like I would still have to have something else.
We could telecast. Or you could watch it. We could just be like on the same
But
movie.
we won't be on the same time. Always. Like I'll be like, yeah, I already watched that.
True.
Because you
I have
were
a
at
really
work or
I have a really
something.
hard time watching movies. Movies to me are a group activity. TV shows are a by myself.
Yeah, I feel that.
Cuz I really hate watching movies by myself.
It depends on the movie for me.
Unless it's one that I've been like thinking about for a while and I've just been like really wanting to watch it, then maybe I'll watch it by myself. But that's only happened like once.
Like I've been wanting to watch the Pixar movies, but then I don't want to. I also every like summer try to like watch H2O.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like the first year that I like don't like really want to watch. Like I want to watch it for like the aesthetic and nostalgia, but like starting it, like I'm not like watching. Like I don't want to like be interested in it.
Yeah. So maybe you could just like have it playing in the background while you're doing something else. I kind of like that vibe.
Yeah.
I did that with Stranger Things a little bit ago. Like I just had it playing while I was just doing something in my room, and it's nice. It just kind of feels like good.
Yeah. It sounds like fun, but usually when I'm doing something else, I'll like always like pause whatever sound is happening because like I can't focus.
Oh. I mean, that's true for me like if I'm like writing anything or trying to say something. But if I'm like I don't know, drawing or crocheting, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of things that I would do in my room, which is nothing.
All the things I do that isn't like watching TV or that's it requires like no sound or
Yeah, that makes sense. You're very like that kind of guy. I don't know how to explain it other than what you just said.
Like when I'm not watching TV, I'm writing or I'm editing or
I cannot edit with anything going on. Like, if there's something happening, the editing is going nowhere. I'm re-listening to the same clip
50
over
100
and
times.
over again and not doing anything to it.
Yeah. Or I'm not alone.
I just realized, so we're both very creative people, but in very different styles, which we already knew this. But like my things are very like I do drawing mostly is the main thing that I do. Like drawing and painting, I feel like, they go hand in hand. There's no words involved. Mine's very like visual, yes, and yours is very like thought process. So like you have to have like that. I mean, that makes sense, and I always knew that. Like, I know that writing takes like a lot of, you have to be inspired and you have to have an actual idea. You can't just start going and expect something to happen. Like with a painting, you can just do random lines and something comes out of it. But like that's why you're not like always just like, okay, let's do it then. Like you have to like literally, it has to go to you. It has to choose you.
Yeah, which sucks.
Yeah, that's freaking horrible.
Which I could always sit down and force myself to write, but not always is something going to come from it.
But also that kind of takes away from it. Like when you have a deadline, sure. When it's for something, sure. Go for it. Do that. But when it's for fun, let it be for fun. Like if you don't want to do it, then don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's how I am with my art, and that's why it takes so long for me to get anything done. Because I'm like, if I'm not feeling like I really want to do it, I'm just not going to. So I have a few unfinished projects.
Yeah. I have a lot of unfinished projects in writing.
And that's okay.
One day they'll be finished, maybe.
Yeah. And then it'll just be like super awesome that it's finished, and you can like actually really appreciate it better because you just put love and fun in it. Especially if it's not your job. If it's supposed to be your fun hobby, don't make it stressful.
Yeah. But I want it to be my job, so.
Yeah, but it's not yet. So like it doesn't have to be stressful yet.
But it should be now.
But not.
Because I want it to be, so it should be like more prominent.
Yes. So maybe like want to do it more. I don't know. It's a tough situation.
Yeah.
Art's about being creative.
Nice segue into the actual topic. Because we're talking about writing.
Yeah. 17. So when I first heard about 17, I don't know where I was going with that. Okay. So
Acting like this is just like a normal review.
yeah.
This is an insider review.
Okay. So
That's the right wording, right? Insider?
probably
Because I'm the insider.
you are the insider.
I'm the creator.
Yeah. Your name's going to be up on,
The marquee.
what is that?
The thing with lights. With the words.
Okay. Yeah. Your name's going to be up there. And it's going to say 17, written and directed by, do you want your full name or do you have a stage name?
I don't know.
To be determined.
I don't know if I want a stage name or not. Well, I know.
You could kind of like Joe, how like you know who he is, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not like he's not like Hannah Montana, you know? But it's just like a way to separate his two things. So you could just have a fun like acronym or something just to separate the two things.
Yeah.
You know what would be fun? Instead of having a name, you had like a symbol that was you, you know?
Interesting.
And it's like kind of secret, which goes against everything I just said. But it's like it's like written by, and then it's like a little like symbol, but sort of in a signature way, not in a company way, but sort of like maybe it's like a hand drawn symbol because it's like you signed it. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I would want that. You just have to think of something unique enough to where you wouldn't find it anywhere else, really.
Yeah.
And if you did, you're just like, oh, that has my name on it.
Yeah. You know, whenever you said the first time I heard about 17, that made me think, like, when was the first time I even thought of the idea?
The origins. So what? I'm going to interview you.
Okay.
Welcome
it's
back.
So good. Oh.
Welcome back, friends and family, to our show, Insider. Just kidding. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Inside Look to 17. That's what this show is called. So there's only one episode. So today we have our guest. Then people couldn't say your name. It'd be like, we have our guest, Circle and Square. Like, okay. So, do you remember what made you think of the idea?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. By
the way, we don't edit our show, so anything you say will be aired.
Okay. Let's see. The very first draft of 17 was like years ago.
If I'm the interviewer, then I can't like have input on the story. I'll just interview you for a second and then we can dive deeper or something. Or do you want me to not have input?
I don't know.
It's up to you. Well, why don't you talk a little bit about that first draft for a minute?
Whoa. There's been so many drafts of 17 that I don't even know if I can remember the first one. I think it started out as just a normal, like, it was just about teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was about. Like, it was just about teenage drama, teenage angst. And
which is funny because were you a teenager when you wrote it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Young teenager?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, 15.
We idolized the age 17. So, of course, all the characters were 17.
Yeah. Because 17 was the age where everything started going where you want it to go, I would think, as like a teenager.
Yeah.
It's like, this is where it's going to start.
Because you're not 16 and you're not 18.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you already can drive.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You're
that's
starting
it.
to figure out what you want to do in life before you
And-
have to actually make the decision.
Yeah, and you're not, like, an adult yet. So,
Yeah.
you're just, like, that
You're
nice.
as the oldest kid you can be.
Yes. And it's quite nice, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm working on de-idolizing that age. Especially
Yeah.
since I have surpassed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would like to be happy about the age I am now.
Yeah.
Let's move on. When you wrote the show, final draft, not first draft,
Okay.
did you have an idea of who you wanted to play each character?
I had a set cast in mind just based off people I knew.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wouldn't say any of the characters were based off these people, though. Like, I just had, like, an idea of certain friends, I was like, they would be really good in this role that I'm creating. And so, yeah, I had a sort of set cast in my mind, but not. I didn't expect that cast to go anywhere.
Did you did that stop you from doing certain things with these characters?
Yeah, actually. I actually, to be honest, wanted to do a few more things with the two main characters, but I wasn't sure if we were to ever perform it in that time that one of those actors was going to be able to do certain things.
Right. Because
we were
everybody
all
was
kids.
Yeah.
We weren't all adults making our own decisions.
Yes, true. Let's see. So have you rewritten those parts?
No, because I think as I was writing it, I wanted to add these things, but whenever it was like finished, it was like it didn't feel like it needed anything else. Like it felt finished.
That's good.
I didn't feel like any pieces were missing.
So this is a jukebox musical. Would you ever consider replacing the songs with originals?
I have, like, way in the past, and like when I said, when I finished writing it, nothing felt like it needed anything or replaced anything. So ever since it was finished, before it was finished, I had always thought, like, I feel like I should actually make original songs and not have all these songs in it, because I was still in the mindset of no one's gonna take this seriously, and jukebox musicals are like outs, and like they're not real musicals in a sense. But ever since it was finished, like, I couldn't imagine any other songs than the ones I chose.
Yeah. So did you choose the songs first or after you had already written?
Some songs I had chose before for like plot wise, because I had, from listening to a song, actually, to answer a before question, I think listening to the song 17 from Heathers, I think that song is what slightly sparked the idea.
Oh, okay. Fancy.
Because whenever I was listening to it, I don't know, like, my mind was just like, I want to create something with this.
Yeah.
That's my own thing.
Because it's just such a beautiful song.
It's an amazing song.
I literally love that song so much.
It's
love it.
an amazing song. And so I was like, I want to create something out of this because it's just so great. And so then I think that's where that started. And then a couple other songs were like mixed in with that one song, and then a plot started forming, and then it just kind of like molding and evolving from that into what it is today. Whenever I started the final draft, almost every single song like literally got taken out.
I remember that. I was devastated every time.
Yeah, because the songs pretty much stayed the same in each draft until the final draft. Then every song was it was like gutted basically.
Yeah.
And then redesigned and organized to what it is.
So you kind of did both then.
Yeah.
Started with music, but then also changed it all after you had rewritten it. So, I think that's actually a pretty good process. Because then you can make sure that every song is in there for a reason and not just because you want to sing it.
Yeah.
And I will say each song is like really good in a way that it moves the plot forward. Like they're not just re-singing something that they already said,
Yes.
which is good, very
Mhm.
good, and something I would not be able to accomplish. I would just have them re-say the things they just said because that's just not my strong suit. Shoot, I had another question. So, 17 reminds me a lot of like Heathers and Mean Girls. And I feel like there's another, but
Breakfast Club.
yes, and the Breakfast Club. Was that your intention? And if not, does it bother you that it is in the same realm?
I think originally when it first came about, that would have bothered me
Mm.
because I didn't want people to think I was robbing
Mm.
or stealing ideas from other things, which I was. But now I think, of course, it's going to remind people of those things because certain songs from those things are literally in it,
Mm-hmm.
for one. And every story gives off an energy. I don't think I'm sure there's a few that like are like this is only that,
Mm-hmm.
but almost everything else like, oh, this gives this mixed with that and like a
Yeah.
little bit of this mixed in there too. So like it's not like art isn't I don't know. I feel like if you create art, you shouldn't be upset if other people find it so amazing that they want to create something from your own art.
Yes.
Because that should be almost like a
Flattering.
goal,
Yeah.
honestly.
My parents always told me that whenever my sister would copy me. They'd be like, she's just doing that because she thinks you're cool. She likes what you're doing, so she's doing it. She's doing it too. And I used to absolutely hate it. I mean, everyone does.
Mm-hmm.
But like I get it now. Yeah, like that is like she's was doing that because she liked it.
Yeah.
And I also believe that there's no such thing as an original thought.
Mm-hmm.
So someone like 100 years ago could have thought of the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're copying each other, you're just thinking of it too.
Mm-hmm.
So like copying is kind of a hard thing to get around.
Yeah.
Also, the earliest thing I ever learned about art is that everyone steals stuff from other people's art. And that's just how inspiration works.
Yeah.
Because you cannot be inspired by something and then do absolutely
Something
nothing that is like it.
Exactly.
Like, that's actually
Like
really hard.
that's where I was going with like you want it to be a goal because you want to inspire people.
Yeah.
And inspiration comes from you wanting to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever they create is going to be like your art.
Yeah. And that's obviously, we're not talking about like actual plagiarism, but
Yeah.
just like you can tell that it's got the same kind of themes, and that's okay. And also, I feel like especially with a jukebox musical, that's going to be really hard to get around
Mm-hmm.
because you have to use those songs
Right.
because that's just how it works.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it has those themes without being exactly like it. Which
I would hope so, yeah.
yeah. Because yes, you're using songs from Heather's, but I would say only the dynamic is Heather-like.
Mm-hmm.
And same with Mean Girls because it has the exact same dynamic.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's the whole plot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's not.
Yeah, no.
I had to like make sure in my head, but it's
sure.
really not. So, do you want to give a brief rundown of the plot?
Can I give a brief rundown of the characters first?
Yes.
Okay. It's gonna be actually hard because how can you
Brief.
explain the characters without explaining what happens to them in the plot first?
So tell us their backstory. Not like a full backstory. Okay, what I'm saying is we open the show and we see these characters and the events of the show have not happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
So who are these people?
Right. Well, the first character we see on stage is a character named Betty. Um, Betty is
You know, with how much I have seen these characters and met them, I don't think I truly understand Betty.
really.
I think I can mostly understand the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, I don't understand them as much as you do, but also that's never been my strong suit in anything.
Character.
Yeah, which is unfortunate as an actor, but like you've always been better at like guessing what a character's gonna do next, and I'm very surface level.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and you're like, yes, but they're more than a 2D character. You know, she's not just a bad girl.
Mm-hmm.
She has morals and she does things.
Yeah.
But Betty is the character I know the least. I think out of
Interesting.
anything ever.
Wow.
Like, I really don't.
Well, let's see if I can help you.
Oh, but that's not to say anything about your writing. That's just me.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
not
Betty
paying attention.
Betty is a very preppy girl. She isn't like a goody two shoes, which a lot of people think she is who have read the script. I think that's her biggest misconception is her title before she was named, or at least like the description is good girl.
Mm-hmm.
But she isn't like a goody two shoes. Actually, I don't think that's her description. I think it's literally preppy girl, which also people take as goody two shoes.
Yeah.
She's a preppy girl. She's very outgoing
Mm-hmm.
and has bubbly characteristics, but she isn't like a bubbly person, if that makes sense. She's not always happy and like always like, but everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like she's very much kind of a stress head a little bit, I'd say.
Okay.
She isn't perfect, which I also feel like people would think she would be.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't show perfect, and that's why I think a lot of people are confused
Yeah.
by her,
Yeah.
because she gives off that she would be perfect, like straight A's, perfect everything,
Mm-hmm.
because she gives off that kind of perfect preppy energy.
It's
But
like that's what she wants you to think.
Yeah,
But she just really
but
hasn't made it.
she isn't that way at all. She literally, one of her first scenes is saying that she's like behind in everything in all her school.
Yeah.
But as you can tell in all of her lines, she's very aggressive in a way, actually. Like she doesn't hold back. She doesn't like hold her perfect self, which maybe she wants.
So she just kind of has like no filter?
Yeah.
Or maybe she.
I think she wants to be more perfect, but she just can't not be herself.
Okay. Okay. I feel like I kind of relate to that a little bit.
Mm. Yeah. So that's pretty much Betty in a nutshell. And then the next character we see, I believe, is Veronica. And she is the quote-unquote bad girl.
Okay, wait, hold on. Pause. You should show the viewers your jacket.
Oh. Yeah. This is a Letterman jacket that says 17 on the back, if you can see that. I don't know if it's wrinkled or not. But it's It was a gift for my birthday. Yeah, my birthday from Anna. Like, probably the birthday after this was finished written, right?
I don't know, but it was the year that we were really making it a thing.
Yeah.
Or you were really making it a thing.
Mm-hmm. It's more of like a director's gift. Like, obviously, this isn't like a costume piece because the Letterman jacket isn't going to have 17 on the back. It's going to have like actual name and number. But
Yeah. Also, that's what the is on the cover. What is that called? Like, it's not. I feel like it's not an album cover. The poster,
yeah, maybe.
like the
Pretty sure it's just the cover.
it's on the cover of the musical. That's just what it looks like.
Yeah. Anyways, Veronica. She is. I think she's almost the opposite of Betty. Like,
See, that's where I think it gets confusing for me because you just told me that, well, like Betty is kind of like has no filter, you know, like she's just like a little bit mean. I don't remember what you said. You didn't say mean. I don't
Aggressive.
think aggressive. I guess Veronica's not like aggressive, but like she's not the opposite of that.
That's why I said she's almost the opposite of Betty.
Okay.
She gives off a mean girl, I don't care about you, like I'm gonna like cut you with my knife kind of like Wednesday Addams vibe. But she's not a mean person unless provoked.
Right.
She's not coming at anyone. She's stays in her place. She has her morals. She has her like what she thinks the world should be, but she's not trying to change anyone. She's not trying to make everyone be in her world. She's just like, I'm gonna be like myself, and that's fine.
So she's just kind of a loner, and
Yeah.
or maybe just shy.
I don't think she's very shy. She's
Yeah, that's
also
true.
in the same way as Betty. She's can be like aggressive, and she stands up for almost everyone.
Yeah. I'm trying to actually remember because now I'm like, whenever I say anything, I immediately whenever you re-say it because I'm wrong, then I remember what.
Because the first time she has lines, she's standing up for Violet.
Yes. I'm gonna stop saying stuff. Okay. So
Okay.
next person.
Next person is Violet. And Violet is, I would say, the main character.
Yeah. Like, why is that a question?
Because we don't only follow her. It's not only her on stage. It's not her that we're not seeing this world through her eyes. That's what a main character is.
Oh, okay.
We follow
She
the
has
main
the most
character.
screen time. Stage time.
This is very much an ensemble cast, if
Okay.
kind of.
She has the most songs, for sure.
She sings the most.
She has like 7 songs. Solos.
But yeah, she is her character changes the most. I would say. She starts out as a very anxious and shy girl who is in love with her best friend's brother. She only has one friend who is Ruby, and Ruby's like a super I don't know, not really obnoxious, but outgoing person. who, yeah, that's pretty much it.
She's kind of
So,
irrational, maybe.
yeah, Violet is very irrational. She doesn't always think before she does. She, I think, she doesn't fully understand herself until the end of the show. And I think that's obviously very prominent in the path she goes down.
I think she's very smart, but she doesn't use it, you
Mm.
know? Like, she forgets that she's smart.
Yeah. Because I think she has this vision of what she wants her life to be like with Alfie, her crush.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not her and him. It's like this crazy different version of herself and the person she thinks he is.
Right. Because she likes him so much that she won't talk to him, so she doesn't know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell us a little bit about Alfie.
Talking about that, is Violet literally me?
Don't know.
This is another crazy thing about being a writer is that sometimes you don't do everything on purpose. So sometimes you could be writing a character that is literally like what you're like going through at the time and you don't even realize it until like way later.
Yeah, you're just projecting.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's a kind of a
So-
healthy form of getting through it, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No, I was just commenting.
You were just giving off like, that's okay. It doesn't have to be bad.
Yeah, well, that is what I said, but that's not the vibe I was going for. I was just trying to say something about it.
So that's interesting that I just thought of that. I think Violet is a very projection of me.
Mm-hmm.
But Alfie, who is Violet's crush,
and also the only guy in the show.
not the only guy, but the only main character guy.
Right. He's the lead. He's the male lead.
Yeah. He is he's probably the hardest for me to explain out of all of them. Because he's a good guy. I think he makes wrong decisions that very obviously at a certain point. He doesn't. This is so hard because I don't want to like start explaining the plot.
So, doesn't really. Kind of oblivious, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't notice Violet, and if he did notice her, he didn't care to do anything about it.
But he likes her.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything about it.
Yeah. I think he's stupid.
Yeah, that is true.
I think he's kind of a little dumb guy who doesn't. Yeah, I guess he is oblivious. He doesn't really notice anything. He doesn't.
But not dumb in a way that, like, not visibly dumb. He just does very dumb things.
Mm-hmm. He's also a jock of some sport that no one will ever know.
He's a mathlete. Just kidding. He could never.
No. Because he's also failing in school. I think he likes to think he is important. And like I think he likes the thought of being the it guy, but he's not really. A lot of these characters give off the energy of what I gave the title to them of, but they're not that.
Yeah, I mean,
also just realized.
They're not stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
They just dress like stereotypes. Okay, so switching gears to the other people in the cast, the second group.
I'm going to start with Haley.
Oh yeah, Haley. I forgot about her. So
Haley is a teacher's pet kind of character. Like, she's very stick to the rules, but she also doesn't stick to the rules unless it's to get what she wants. She is very self-absorbed, narcissistic. She's annoying.
so she's also not a goody goody. She just pretends to be for the teachers.
Yeah.
Or
she
just
is a goody goody. She's just not a nice person.
Oh, yes. Okay.
She does everything by the book, but not the nice things. So yeah, that's pretty much Haley. She's just kind of an annoying teacher's pet girl who no one likes. And then I already talked about like Ruby. She's Alfie's sister. She's Violet's best friend. And she's just kind of an outgoing girl who likes to have fun, but her best friend doesn't. And so
that is unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Then we have Chris.
She's a very live in the moment person.
Yeah. Ruby's very live in the moment. Then we have Chris, who is the mean girl, kind of like Heather Chandler of the school, Regina George. She is queen bee around everywhere. She's mean, she's cruel, she's only cares about herself. Any quality a mean girl has, she has it, basically. And that is that. Then we have Heather, her sidekick. Heather is Chris's best friend. She knows all her secrets. She kind of gives off Gretchen Karen from Mean Girls, but combined. Like, you would almost think that she's like the ditzy, like, dumb, blonde kind of character, but not, like, none of her lines are that way.
I actually hadn't thought of her that way at all.
Really?
Yeah. She's more, like, I didn't think she was like Karen at all.
Well, her lines, like, her aura, and, like, the way I heard her saying the lines is very, like, she's trying to act dumb.
True. It's not like every time I read it, like, I read it the way that I read it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not reading it the way that you intended for it to be read. So that makes
True.
Even more sense as to why I don't get it.
I think Heather, like, in the beginning is very, like, sweet to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you almost feel bad for her for being friends with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of are like, I hope she gets out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Heather's a deep character, as we'll get into. And that's pretty much all the kids. Then we have Mr. Suitor, who is like the main teacher.
Yeah, he's actually a lot bigger character than I think of him ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like a guy that has a line.
Yeah, no,
in
he's
my head.
very important to the
plot.
plot.
But he definitely has more than a line. Like,
yeah, he's in quite a bit of the show, actually.
That's
Mr.
true.
Suitor is the teacher. A creepy teacher who is kind of a pedophile. That's it.
Kind of. Not really kind of. Just pretty much.
Then Mrs. Glass, who's only in like 2 scenes. She's another teacher. She's just a teacher.
And that's it. That's the whole cast?
Yeah, that's all the main characters, all the supporting roles. Anyone who has a name is that.
Zach
Oh yeah,
Shore.
Zach Shore.
He has a name, and that is all he has.
Yeah, he doesn't have any lines, but he is mentioned like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. He's just like that extra person. Wait, I was just now watching a compilation from, I can't tell you what show it was, but like on YouTube, of every time someone mentioned like a character that you do see, but she's like a total side character, like she's like an extra. But like anytime they need something crazy to happen, they're just like, I bet it was that girl. and, and she's like this crazy party animal that's like always drunk.
Oh wow.
I think it was Pretty Little Liars, actually.
Mm.
And she's just like a character that is basically just a name,
Mm-hmm.
but you do see her like 2 times.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Yeah.
silly.
Zach Shore is iconic.
Yeah. So if you audition for the show and you get Zach Shore,
What's the Mean Girls title of him?
Shane Omen.
Okay, good. Because for some reason I was
It's like the same name.
yeah,
It's not.
and I
It's,
was like, I didn't just use that name. That's awful.
that's awful. No. So that's the rundown of all the characters. That's good.
So we're gonna start kind of telling you the plot a little bit. If
Okay.
you want to save it for one day, this is on like a big stage. Click off
It will be.
because spoilers ahead.
Okay. I'm not interviewing you anymore.
Okay.
The interview has concluded. Thank you so much, Circle in a Square, for joining us today on an inside look on 17.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I need to go.
Yes. Tune in next time, but there is no next time. So bye.
I don't want to like bore them,
Yeah. Okay.
but I don't know how to sum. What if you summarized?
Okay. You're going to
And
have
then
to fix it,
I can help.
and you're going to fix it. Okay, you ready? The show. I'm summarizing the whole show or just act
Act
one?
one.
Okay. I'm definitely going to screw this up, but it's going to be fun.
It'll be interesting.
Especially since I have to only do half the show and I have to remember what's in the first half of the show. Because timelines are not my thing. So, we open on these kids getting ready for school and they don't know each other. 5 people? 5 main characters. Betty, Veronica. Don't know why I said Betty first. She's not even the main, like the lead, but okay. Violet, Alfie, Betty, Veronica, and Haley. And I literally always forget about Haley. And I know she's a bigger character in this one than she was in the original, but she's still not like big. But I forget about her. Okay. And Haley. These 5 characters, they know of each other. I mean, they go to school together. Is this not the first day of school?
It's crazy.
Stop! I haven't even started yet.
I
Okay.
know. That's why.
It's not the first day of school, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyway, they all wind up in detention. Surprise. And so they meet in detention and they're like, you suck. Who are you? And why are you here? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And this is where we meet Mr. Suitor as well. And Violet is like, I want Alfie to notice me. So she tries to think of a way to get Alfie to notice her. So she's like, I'll just get in with the popular kids. That's so easy, right? First of all, why is it always so easy? In every, like, popular... Because, like, if it's so easy for this rando to get in the popular clique, like, why can't everyone? Like, why is no one else? But, anyway. So...
No one else has the guts, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why they're the main character. Because they have that main character energy.
Yeah. So she goes up to to Chris and Heather, and she's like, "Hey guys, can I join your pride?" And they're like,
You should have never said that.
that's in the script.
I know, but it's worse whenever they don't know.
And they're like, well, what can you do for us? And she says, I mean, I'm a pretty good sewer, so I can, seamstress, so I can sew you guys some clothes. Original clothes. And they're like, bet, let's do that. And then they become besties, but fake besties. Oh, shoot.
And now she has this fake sense of confidence. And so next detention time with all the main five, she stops all the fighting.
Yes. And then they sing a song. Turn up the music from Lemonade Mouth.
That's the only song you're going to mention?
Yeah. What was that squeak? I squeaked. Okay. That's the only song in the show. Anyway, then they're like a little bit more friends, but they're not like friends. They're just like not hate each other. And then they leave. And then
You're skipping some stuff. Then after detention, Violet and Alfie, like, Alfie stops, like, Violet from, like, leaving, and then they talk, and then they, like, sing a little song of love, and then they kiss. And then Violet is, like,
oh my gosh, it's working. Being a popular girl.
oh yeah, before they kiss, she's like, you don't even know what you're doing. And then he's like, yeah, I do. And then they sing the song and kiss. But then Violet gets like a ring-a-ding from her phone, and it's Chris. And she's supposed to be like meeting up with them. So then she's like, oh my gosh, I gotta go. And then she runs away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but then Alfie's like,
Alfie's like, is that when he sings Don't You Dare?
no!
Does he even sing that song?
Yes.
Okay. What does he do?
But then, why does Alfie not want Violet?
Oh, because Alfie's like, don't go with Chris. She is evil.
And why does he know that?
Because he dated her. Dun, dun, dun. They were in love. Not really, probably. But they were dating. And Chris ruined his life. And so that's why he's not popular anymore. But he still thinks he is, I guess. And then Violet's like, I don't like believe you, but she wants to believe him because like she's in love with him, but she doesn't believe him. And so she leaves anyway and goes with her. And Alfie's disappointed.
And then Violet goes to hang out with Chris and Heather. And then Heather's like, you're late. Don't ever do that again. And then Violet's like, maybe he's a little right. Because then Chris is like singing a mean song. And then
Like The World According to Chris.
yeah, kind of like that song.
I was like asking you if that's what song it was. Yes, it is that song.
From Carrie the Musical. I don't know if we should have been like saying all the songs.
Not all of them, just when they're like necessary. Don't look at the script, that's cheating.
Oh, okay. But then we might say something wrong.
They won't know.
Then, oh yeah, and then
they're at. Tell me, give me a hint. You just keep like taking over for me when I'm lost, and then throwing it back to me while I'm still lost.
What two characters have we not seen in a minute?
Betty and Veronica are like at Veronica's house. Betty's house. At Betty's house. And because, first of all, they don't like each other But they're like, do you want to like come over to my house? They kind of like reconciled a little bit, and so they're hanging out at Betty's house. And then they're like, what are we gonna do? And so they decide to do art. And so they do art, and they show each other their paintings, and they're like, that was good, I like it, not my style, but I like it for you. And then Betty's like, can I give you a makeover? And then Veronica's like, sure. And then Betty's like way too excited about it. And then
Verona is not excited.
Veronica leaves basically. She's like upset because Betty said that she was been waiting forever to give her a makeover. And she's like, okay, that's literally so rude. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. We're actually not having a sleepover. And then Betty's like depressed about that. And then Veronica sings I'd Rather Be Me from Mean Girls. And then a little bit later, Betty like apologizes. She's like, that's not what I meant. And then they reconcile and they sing You Shine.
That's just so unbelievably not right.
I don't.
They sang You Shine before all of that.
Oh. You're real?
Yes.
Okay, so they reconcile.
No, they don't.
They
Then
they're all like in detention again, I think. And they're like, what is that rank smell?
a few plot things happen before that. Before they notice this smell.
A few plot things happen before. What?
Okay, the four of them are in detention. Oh yeah, also before they get detention, Violet and Alfie have a big fight.
Okay, so now everybody hates each other again.
Yeah, so now they're all in detention. Them four are like...
Yeah. So Betty, Veronica, Violet, and Alfie are all in detention. Somebody's missing. And then
And then Alfie, like, they all kind of, like, get in like, a yelling argument, and then Alfie's like, I'm just trying to protect you. That's what people do when they love you. And then, like, everyone's like, whoa, he loves her. And then
yeah, they're not even dating, but he just loves her.
And then he rushes off. And then Violet's like, ugh.
He just ran out of detention?
Yeah. And then...
You can't do that.
And then Violet follows him. And then
Betty and Veronica are like, it smells so bad in here. What is that? And then they like open a closet. They follow the smell to a closet, and then they open it. Oh my goodness. Haley is in there. She's dead though. And that's what the smell is. And they're like obviously traumatized because this person who they hated is dead now.
yeah,
I was going to say their friend, but
Violet and Alfie also come back.
I'm about to say.
I didn't think you were.
Yeah, I remember this part. And then Alfie and Violet come back, and then they're like, did you guys kill her? And then Violet's like, no, she smells so bad. They did not just kill her. And then they're like, okay, true. And then they're like, what do we do? And then who says it? Alfie? Who?
Take
Violet?
A good guess. Yeah.
Says, let's bury her. Bad decision, guys. If you find a dead body, don't bury it. You call the police. But a few of the other characters suggested that they call the police, and then Alfie's like, no, that'll make us look suspicious. Right?
Veronica, too.
She's wrong, too.
Betty suggested they should call the police.
Yeah, Betty's like, we should call the police. And then Alfie and Veronica are like, no, then we'll look like we did it. But that's so just not how that works. They're just not really smart, and that's okay. But then they're like, let's bury her. and then they all reluctantly do it, and they're like, and somehow Alfie knows everything that they need, or Violet knows everything they need. It's Alfie, right? I was right the first time. He's like he's done it before. So they bury her, and they're like, and then Alfie's like, we need to never, like he's done it before. We need to never speak again. We need to burn all our clothes and go our separate ways. We were never friends. We never, like, this never happened. And it's easy for them to pretend like they don't know each other because they're all still mad at each other and hate each other. So, yeah, and then they don't speak of it. And end of Act 1. Intermission. That actually was really loud.
Yep. I heard it.
Yeah, and you still kept going.
Curtain. Who's going to make everyone not want to watch this?
No. Do you want to do it differently then?
No.
Okay.
You can go get the paper and stuff this time.
Gosh.
Because I did it last time. I'm not usually the one left alone with you guys. I will now read to you all the songs that happen in Act 1. In from Carrie, the musical, opens the show. Then we have... That was really hard. Okay. What is this feeling? From Wicked, the musical. They sing that in their first detention. Then we have Superboy and the Invisible Girl from Next to Normal. Then we have Beautiful from Heathers. Then we have Turn Up the Music from Lemonade Mouth. Oh no, she's almost back. Then we have Unsuspecting Hearts from Carrie the Musical. Then we have The World According to Chris from Carrie the Musical. Then we have You Shine from Carrie the Musical.
I'm out of breath.
Then we have Someone Gets Hurt reprise / The World According to Chris reprise from Mean Girls and Carrie the Musical. Then we have I'd Rather Be Me from Mean Girls. And then we have Don't You Dare / I Am the One by Caden McKay and from Next to Normal. And that is Act 1's songs.
Boop, 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 boop.
And welcome back to
Exact instructions. Now, in this weekly segment, one of us is drawing something secret, and the other person has to draw it using the exact instructions. So you can't try to guess what they're doing. Like if they explain draw a circle on the top half of the page, don't guess that it's a sun, because it might not be a sun.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really think it is a sun and they're just doing a bad job at explaining it, still don't guess.
Yeah.
Because that's not how exact instructions work. So, do you want to be the instruction person? Okay, I'm going to instruct you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to think of something like really good to draw. Okay, I thought of it.
Oh.
Okay. Ow.
Whoa. What?
Oh, really bad.
What?
Like scratched off like a scab that used to be a pimple.
Oh,
And it
ouchies.
like really bad. Ow. Like, I'm about to cry. Is it bleeding?
No. It's just red.
Now, grab, honestly, whatever color you want. A light color. Crayon. And draw a the bottom half of an oval in about the center of your page.
Just the bottom half of an oval?
Just the bottom half of an oval. And it can be a little more like of a pointy oval or a round oval or a circle.
Why would you say that after I?
Okay. Now grab a blue. And actually, you guys should follow along with us at home.
Yes, please, and then comment your creations in the comments
of what it turned out to be.
Yes.
Okay. So with your blue, now.
Or send it to us on our Instagram account.
Yes, DM us.
DM us, please.
I think you're going to guess what this is.
Okay.
I think you already have like a pretty good guess of what it's going to be. Okay. With your blue, draw. Okay. Squiggles, circly squiggles on the top and sides of your half oval. Okay?
Like on the top of it?
On the, like above it, touching it.
Like as if there was like a line there?
Yeah. I know what this is going to be, and I don't even think it's going to like turn out exactly right the way that I'm picturing it, but that's okay. Because I'm like have to like modify it to be easy to explain, I feel like. Now, grab a green crayon.
Okay.
This part is what's going to give it away, I think, for what it's going to be. So maybe I'll wait on this part.
Oh.
I'll wait on this part.
Don't look.
I'm not. Also, I can look at yours.
But I want it to be a surprise because I bet it's going to be funny.
Okay, so now grab a red crayon. In the center line of your oval. Okay. In a horizontal center line. Okay? Don't draw it. Just imagine it. Okay, imagine your oval was cut into 4 parts.
Mm-hmm.
Cut into 4 parts horizontally. On the lowest cut, draw a line horizontally on the lowest cut. And make it like a little bit thick, but not like thick. Just not like huge, just like thicker than just like a one line. And then kind of make it another semicircle, but the top half of a semicircle. Okay? So like add like little like curvies going downward on the end of your line. If that makes sense? Why do you look so confused? I would really think you would know what I'm drawing right now.
I don't know what this is.
Okay. So in the almost exact middle of your semicircle, draw a circle.
I thought I knew what it was for a second, and then I don't anymore.
Okay, I feel like I thought that was like a giveaway. So, now grab a green. On the top cut, so imagine it's still in 4 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
On the top cut, horizontally, we're going to draw 2 circles next to each other. Horizontally. Not touching. Make them a little bit apart. Okay, now grab a darker green. Or you can grab a lighter one. No, I meant dark blue is what I meant to say, actually. I did not mean to say green. Okay, now above your green dot, both of them, draw triangles.
I don't think I can.
Below your green dots, draw... Okay, so I'm just going to tell you in a way that I'm just telling you on one of them, but you're going to do the same on both dots. So on your green dot, underneath it, draw a smaller circle than your green circle. Okay? And then under that, do another circle. But do that on both circles.
I think I know what this is, but the base is not good for what it is.
Okay, so grab your red again. And on the left and right side, so both sides of your oval, do like a little like scribble on both sides. Now grab a dark green. Above your blue scribbles. Oh wait, I chose blue. I don't know what color you chose. Did I say blue for you too?
For the sides,
Yeah.
you literally said, no, get a dark red.
No. Sorry, not those scribbles. Your circle scribbles. Your
So
circle.
just the circles under the green circles.
No. That's around your semi-oval.
The swirls?
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
swirly things. Above that, touching it, draw a triangle. Touching it like it's sitting on top of it. And color that in however you want. Like you can just color it all the way, or you can do like a little design on it. I don't care. It's yours. Okay. Now, we're almost done. We're nearing the end.
I know what it is, and I can't even think of it.
Okay, now grab your red. Okay, now, underneath your semicircle, make a little like a rectangle under that. And then underneath that, we're going to make draw a horizontal line going from a little bit past the bottom of the rectangle all the way to past the other side. Okay?
Touching it?
Touching it like it's one with the bottom line. Okay? But we're just extending the line of our rectangle. Okay, and from the points of those, go down, like a down line. Okay, that's it. I don't really know how to explain this any further. Okay, you ready?
Wait, look.
Wait, can I have this?
You should put them next to each other.
That is, I love that so much. So much more. Oh my gosh. Wait. Is this the mouth?
You never said to put the circle under. I mean above it.
I said in the middle of your oval.
Semicircle is what you said. You didn't say in the middle of your oval.
I'm literally crying so much.
Because you were calling the mouth the semicircle, and you said, and now put a little circle in the center of your semicircle. And so I did.
This is my favorite thing I've ever seen, I think. Oh my gosh. I literally... Oh my gosh. That is beautiful. I wish I looked like that.
After these, I thought maybe it was going to be a bowl and I was going to be good. Like a bowl of fruit.
I guess I forgot to say that the oval was vertical. A vertical oval. That is better than I could have ever imagined you drew that. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for watching our last segment of
Exact instructions.
And we will be back with it next season.
Yeah.
Shh. curtain opens.
Well,
Act 2 of 17, the musical.
me again?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm never gonna recover from that. I'm literally gonna put that on my wall as soon as I get home. So, Act 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is where shit goes down.
Yeah,
Okay?
crazy.
So, how does it open? Just how does it open? I just need like a starter.
The opening number is a cautionary tale.
Mm.
Kind of
Okay.
time has kind of passed by. Like, it's like closer to the end of the school year now.
Okay, so that was first day of school. I'm just kidding. No, it's not. But it was in the beginning. Early enough for them to not really know of each other yet, but late enough for Betty to be behind in all her classes.
Yeah.
They sing, so who sings?
Betty and Veronica.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. So Betty and Veronica sing a cautionary tale from
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. That happens.
And then
And
Betty's told by Miss Glass that she's like failing.
yeah, and like
And
she's gonna have to retake the year.
Yeah, she's not going to be able to graduate. And she's like,
Ever.
no! And then she's like,
Wait, is this senior year?
yeah.
Oh. You can be 17 in your senior year. You just have to have a later birthday.
I guess all of them do.
They all have like May birthdays.
At least Violet and Alfie have late.
Yes. Also,
And then
Chris and
everyone
Heather.
at the end.
yeah.
Then she kind of has like a senior year crisis. We missed a very big plot point in Act 1.
What?
In Act 1, Betty overhears Mr. Suitor and Haley.
Oh yeah, I was just kind of glossing over that because I was trying to go like faster at the beginning, but like I did remember that happened.
Yeah. Betty overhears Haley and Mr. Suitor getting into a little argument that's a little suspicious, and it kind of sounds like they're having an affair.
Yeah, because he's like, did you tell them? And she's like, no, I didn't. And he's like, I've been giving you special attention for not telling them. And then she's like, and then he like gives her attention or something. He's like, don't let it, if I find out it's you, like, I don't know, whatever. They're fighting.
Yeah. And then Betty was like, oh my gosh. And so now she's kind of having like,
Oh yeah, she like thinks of the whole plot. So
she like has like guilt as she's having this crisis.
and then
And
she
she's
has
like,
an
I
epiphany.
might know who did this and like what happened to Haley.
Yeah, she's like, I know what happened to Haley actually, and so she goes to Veronica,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, and then Veronica's like, shh, we don't talk about that, and she's like, yes, we do because I can prove it wasn't us who killed her, even though we buried her. And then Veronica's like, who? And she's like, it was Mr. Suitor, obviously, because I heard them talking about it, and I think he killed her because she was going to tell about the affair. And then Veronica's like, what? And so they sneak into his classroom and, like, hide there to try to, like, hear him say something. But he doesn't, and so they're just in there. And then, like, Violet and Alfie are doing something at the same time.
Yeah. What are they doing?
Are they singing 17?
No, I don't know.
They're just being in love with each other but mad at each other.
So Violet is full mean girl.
Yeah, she's changed
Completely
her
changed.
personality. She's so fake now.
Alfie's like super depressed and stuff. And Ruby is like also really sad that she's like losing her best friend. And Ruby like tries to talk to her, but she's like, sorry, friends just like grew apart. Like we were never actually meant to be best friends, I guess. And then
Yeah, if you're gonna act like that.
And then Ruby's like, you cannot do this. And then they sing Apex Predator from Mean Girls.
Cool song.
And then Ruby convinces Alfie to try to talk to Violet because maybe he can like get her like to come down. But it doesn't really work. But then Heather hears them, Alfie, and sees Violet talking to Alfie, and she's like, "Oh, you literally can't talk to him because Chris will like actually murder you."
And she's like, "No, she won't." And then Heather's like, "Yeah."
And then Violet's like, "Oh my gosh!" And then
that's
she's like,
the minute.
"Oh, no, minute."
I was gonna say something, but then I was like, "Shoot, I'm interrupting you." And then I stopped talking.
And then Violet's like, "Alfie was right this whole time. She's really mean and stuff."
That's what I was gonna say. That's the minute she realized.
Okay. And then Violet's like, "Come into this classroom," and that is also where Veronica and Betty are hiding.
Yeah,
for
and
Mr. Suitor.
They're like talking to each other, and they're like Betty and Veronica. They're like, "What did we even think was gonna happen?" And then they hear footsteps, and they're like, "Oh, hide again!" So they hide, and then Alfie and Violet are in the room. For some reason, they went in there
Because Violet's like, "I believe everything you said, and I'm so sorry that I was the worst ever in the world."
Yeah, and then
And then Ruby's like, "What's going on in here?" And then Violet's like, "I am so sorry. I was so awful to you and didn't believe you. I'm the worst in the world."
Yeah.
And then Violet's like, "Well, now what do I do?" And then Ruby's like, "We get revenge for both of you, both Alfie and Violet, because Chris is awful." And then they sing Revenge Party, and that's like the biggest number in the
that's
show.
like the rest of the act.
So basically what happens in Revenge Party is Alfie and Ruby are helping Violet get revenge on Chris for being horrible to her and everyone ever.
Everyone.
They're trying to like basically like tear her reputation down.
And then they go to a party.
While also Veronica and Betty are trying to get a confession or prove that Mr. Suitor killed Haley. And so all of this is happening at Chris's Rager Bash party, and they figure out that that Chris isn't actually all that she seems to be. Chris is actually like lying to everyone. She's not actually like all high and mighty, because Heather spills all the tea to Violet that the house they're at is literally Heather's house and all that stuff. So yeah, basically they just got a bunch of tea on Chris to then tell the whole party. And then Chris is like, "I cannot believe you." And Veronica and Betty see Mr. Suitor at the teenage party.
Yeah, and they're like, "Okay, we got him."
Yeah. And then they see him walk outside where Heather had just went, or where Chris had just went.
Yeah, they go with.
And they're like, "Oh my gosh, what if he like tries to kill Chris or something like that?" But yeah, the other three got revenge, so they're like, "All right, time to get out of here." And then
we're done.
Except Chris did make a very suspicious comment before they left, which was, "Watch your back on Monday, Violet, because you are literally dead. I will murder you." And then Violet's like,
Chris says that?
Yeah, Chris says that. And then
they're like, she actually will.
So they're like leaving the party. Veronica and Betty go out back. Now you can take it away, because that's just like the most confusing part of the whole show. So
yeah, thank you. Okay, so you stopped in a worst spot without prepping me for what you're actually about to say. They like see where Mr. Suitor and Chris went, and they're like, "Wait, we didn't see Mr. Suitor walk out. We didn't see Chris walk out."
No, who do they find? out back. Wow, you don't remember? Veronica and Betty go out back and they find Mr. Suitor's dead body.
Oh, yeah. Okay. They find Mr. Suitor's dead body and they're like, oh my gosh. It wasn't him. It was actually Chris, because Chris was in there with him and she killed him for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know why she did that. She just did. And then
they're trying to figure out why she did it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
mm-hmm.
they're like, let's go figure it out. So then they go and they're like, oh my gosh, who's she gonna murder next? Violet, for sure. So then they go to tell Violet, and then she's like, yeah, I know. And they're like, no, she's like, she's serious. She's going to kill you. And she's like, what? No way, really? And then Heather sings a song.
Oh, before they go tell Violet, Heather tells them that Chris is the murderer.
Okay.
Because Heather then comes to the backyard and she's like, screams. And then they're like, Heather, we didn't do this. And then Heather's like, I know. Because I know who did it.
Heather tells Betty and Veronica.
Yeah. Okay.
That Chris
is the murderer.
And she's murdered other people before. And she's going to do it again. And she's actually going to go after Violet.
Well, she doesn't tell them that. Okay. They figured that out.
That happens. And then so they go tell Violet and she's like, yeah, I know, she's after me. She says she's going to kill me. And they're like, nope, she's for real though. And then they're like, oh, shoot, let's get out of here. So they dip. Right?
Kind of. So Violet completely believes them. She's a little scared now. She's like, oh my gosh. And then, but Alfie is like, you guys are all overreacting. Chris is not going to kill someone. Like, she's not.
Oh.
If she was going to kill anyone, she would have killed me by now. And so Violet's just like a little on edge. Veronica and Betty are like, no, like for realsies. Ruby's like, there's murder. And
yeah, I guess she never knew.
And then Alfie is like, come on, you can like come back to our house. Like, you'll be safe. Like, no one's going to murder you. Like, you're going to be fine. Like, they're being crazy.
It's okay. I'll protect you.
So then three leave back to Alfie and Ruby's house with Violet. And Veronica and Betty are like, there's no way he's serious. I can't believe this. And then Violet's like, come on, we're going to go save Violet. We're going to figure this out. And
Violet says that.
Oh, I thought I said Veronica. Veronica's like, let's go. We're going to go put us into this and stop Chris. So then they go snooping around the school.
Yes, they go to
clues.
the school. And then Violet and Alfie. Which I did not know this was at Alfie's house because she's in a room. She's in his room, but he gave her the room for the night. Something like that. Because she's in a room by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then Violet is like, she's gonna murder me. I'm gonna die. What do I do? And then Alfie's like, calm down. You don't need to do anything. And then he's like, you're nothing's gonna happen. You're fine. So then they sing 17.
So what causes them to sing 17 is
she is gonna go murder Chris before Chris can murder her. And then Alfie's like, don't do that, okay? Because also they don't even like 100% know. Like they didn't like see it happen. So she would just be a murderer. Anyway, she's have a gun.
A knife.
Okay. She has a knife, and she's like, and then Alfie's like, takes that away, and then they sing 17, and it's beautiful, amazing. They kiss at the end, and then he's like, okay, good night. I love you. Rest up. So she's like, lays down in bed. She's like, okay. And then immediately after he closes the door, she gets up and like she has an epiphany, and she's like, okay, wait, actually, I do have to go. And then she puts on a jacket. And she grabs her knife and she's out of here. She leaves. And
she doesn't grab the knife.
Oh, she leaves the knife.
Alfie took the knife from her.
He took it. So she's like, dang. So she leaves.
Her
and
epiphany was because, well,
I was gonna like.
I'm not gonna
she
like.
She explains it later.
Yeah, but like she knows that Veronica and Betty are snooping around the school, and she's like, they're in danger.
They're in danger.
So
I'm
then
gonna go
she's
help them.
Yeah.
But we're like, where's she going at this point? Because we don't see and we don't know. And then back at the school. Uh, Betty and Veronica are like still looking through stuff, and they're like, they hear somebody coming.
No.
Okay, they make out. What happened?
They open Chris's locker,
Yeah.
and then a note falls out.
Right, and the note says,
And
"You'll be dead tonight." What does it say? Meet me in the classroom.
meet me in the detention room.
Detention room. Yes, that's what it says. It says, "Meet me in the detention room." And so they're like, "How did she know we were gonna be here, or who is this for?"
Well, it literally says their name.
Oh, she's
On it.
like, "How did Chris know we were gonna be looking through her locker?" So they leave. They leave the locker and they go to the detention room, and they're like scared. And then they hear somebody coming.
No. What did they
Then-
find in the detention room?
A dead person. Chris. A dead Chris. Oh my gosh, what? Chris is dead? Then Violet got here before us. Not really, because then they hear somebody coming and they're scared. And they're like, oh my gosh. And then it's Heather. And they're like, oh, it's okay. It's just Heather.
They're never once. Oh, it's okay.
They're like, what? It's Heather. And then Heather's like, yeah, I bet you didn't know it was me the whole time. And then they're like, what? You? That doesn't make sense. You said it was Chris. And then she's like, yeah, duh. And then they're like, why did you do it? And then she's like, because Mr. Suitor and I were having an affair. And Haley knew about it. She saw us one time and she threatened to tell. And so Mr. Suitor was like getting cold feet and didn't want to do it anymore. And I loved him. And so I thought the best thing to do was to kill Haley, because then he'll be with me forever.
Well, hold on.
No, that's real.
So, pretty close. Haley found out, and then Mr. Suitor started giving her good grades and like gave her like special attention in school to keep her quiet. But then another teacher came to him and started accusing him of things. So then he got cold feet, cut it off with Heather.
Yeah.
Heather got mad, Haley blabbed and killed her.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay. And then Mr. Suitor was like, okay, what? Why did you kill her? That is not what I wanted. And she's like, what? I thought it was what you wanted. And then he's like, well, get rid of her. And then so she sticks him. No. So she puts her in the his office.
The detention
room
which
closet.
is his classroom.
Yeah. And for him to deal with. Because she's like, you're going to deal with this, right? This is your problem?
No.
I think I remember that.
That's where she hid him, and then she
Hid
was
her.
like, yeah, that's where she hid Haley.
And she was going to
And-
deal with her later.
But
But when she came back, she was gone, so she just thought Mr. Suitor took care of her. That's what happened. Okay. And then she's like, okay, well, all's well that ends well.
she's like, all right, well, my job.
Yeah,
Done.
and then so she's like, let's be in love again. And then he's like, no. And so she kills him too, because she's mad. And then Chris...
Well, it's a little deeper than that, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but... And then Chris finds out or saw them or...
Yeah, so at the party, Mr. Suitor was coming to tell Heather that he's, like, turning them both in.
Oh, yes, yes.
Heather's like, absolutely not. Boom, shot him dead.
Yeah. And they're like, how did you not hear the gunshot at the party? Because Chris screamed.
Because Chris got a drink, like, splashed in her face, and
Yeah.
she, like, screamed really loud.
So she screamed at the same time, so nobody heard the gunshot.
But then after Chris's
really loud
big,
scream.
like, anger burst, she, like, rushes out back, finds Heather and Mr. Suitor. Chris is like, oh my gosh, what? And then Heather's like, murder you too.
Yeah, because there can be no witnesses. And now she's stuck in a endless cycle because more and more people are going to find out. So even though she wanted Betty and Veronica to find Chris, I guess, because she told them to go there.
Well,
And-
she knew that she was gonna. Chris was already dead before she could blame Chris. So she was like, okay, well, they know I'm going to have to kill them. Might as
Right.
well do it in a fun way.
Got it. Okay. So she's like about to kill Betty and Veronica. And she's like about to. And then you hear a gunshot. Except you're like, oh my gosh, who died? And then Heather falls to the ground. And standing behind her is Violet. She did it. She solved the whole thing also at the same time.
Whenever she had that epiphany.
That was her epiphany. And she's like, oh my goodness. Yeah. And so she, nick of time, saved them. And they're like, oh my gosh. And then I don't know what they do with them. Probably tell the police or something. I don't know. Probably bury them right with Haley. And then they tell Alfie, I guess.
Alfie and Ruby noticed that Violet was missing. They come to the school, and Alfie and Violet have like a moment where like Alfie's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't believe you at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like switching the roles because
Yeah.
And then Violet's like, it's okay. And then she's like, but now that all this happened, I literally can't like stay here. Like
And so she like leaves, probably runs away because I'm sure her parents aren't just like, okay, let's move because you said so.
Yeah.
Like, because she's not about to tell her parents of all this, so she probably just runs away. And then, but before she can leave, they have one final finale together, and they sing the last song, Beautiful Reprise. Is that what it is? /17?
No, Wicked Little Town is their last song. Then she leaves.
And then she leaves, and then everybody.
And then 17 reprise.
Oh. I just thought it was both of them together, Beautiful /17.
It is. It's the finale of.
Okay, so I was.
But
okay.
it's called 17 reprise.
Okay. And then these 17-year-olds are traumatized forever.
And just live on.
Yep. We don't know what happens to them after the show, but I'm sure it's a happily ever after. Well, actually not, because Violet left. So.
Yeah, it ends with Violet is gone. Veronica and Betty are trying to be friends again.
Yeah,
and Alfie and Ruby are just kind of there. Probably sad and crying and depressed because
their mutual person left.
Yeah. But yeah, that is 17 the musical. Hopefully one day it'll be performed. As of right now, it probably won't ever be.
It will. Don't think like that. It will be performed, and you'll get to see it on the big stage. Well, maybe you won't, but people will.
Yeah.
And I think what makes it so good, to me at least, or so special, I should say, not good. What makes it special is because of, how long it took you to get to where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like you didn't have the same plot even the whole time. Like it evolved, and so did the characters, and it's just good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Signing off for the season.
I hope you guys enjoyed this whole first season. It was our first attempt, so obviously there were like bumps in the path and on the place.
There's no road. We made it ourselves, I guess.
Yeah. But I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you all enjoyed season 1 of Dumb Ideas. Please come back for season 2. Don't forget we exist, because we will be back for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life, not ours.
Yeah. But yeah, stay tuned, because we're going to have a lot more crazy episodes. We already have some planned for season 2.
We're thinking bigger.
Bigger is better, and better is bigger. A little bit is never enough.
What is that?
High School Musical
3.
3.
You see, that's the one I think I've never seen.
Sharpay. Ashley Tisdale. All right, well,
Oh shoot!